Live on Instagram, checking connection, live on YouTube. Hey, everybody, Jess here, Jessica Alstrom, and I am bringing you your daily Jedi Master training for the new Earth. It's about time we got magical and remember exactly who we are. Hey everyone, good to see you. Say hi if you are going to hang out with me for about 10 or 15 minutes. I'm going to give you some Jedi mind training. Hey Crystal. All right, so Jedi mind training. One of the things about using law of attraction is being magnetic. And when we are demagnetized, we will notice that things are not really coming in the way we want them to, and things that we do not want are coming in. So, the one thing that I want to kind of give you guys in these Jedi mind hacks is not to necessarily use anything outside of yourself. Because, again, when you're using like magnetism tools or special shoes or special clothes, you're still being codependent on the matrix. And where my job is to show you how, with just this quantum computer and this intention that you have, this God spark within you, and the desires of your heart, this is all you will ever need to create heaven on earth. And so when we need a special tool to be magnetic, or when we need, someone else to help us magnetize, then we are creating that codependency, which is what causes us to stay asleep in the matrix. And we want to awaken to the power within. So, hey, Michelle, good to see you. Thank you. Thanks, Morris. All right, so magnetism, what is it? First of all, you are an electromagnetic being. And when you have a desire within you and you are in alignment of that desire, then you basically go into what we call the correct mode of prayer by saying, oh, yes, this is who I am inside. Thank you, universe, for demonstrating to me through bringing things to me, bringing things out of me, because you're never really lacking anything. Have you noticed that when you desire a relationship, what you really want is to share that love inside of your heart? You don't need someone, but you do want to create someone to share the abundance of what you already have. So the number one reason why you demagnetize yourself from anything that you desire is because you start your desire off in lack. So let's say if I'm thinking from the unholy spirit within, which is lack, which is scarcity, which is I am unworthy, which is I'm all alone, I'm not seen, I'm not heard, I'm not loved, I'm not capable, I have to hide myself. When we are desiring from those places, then you are desiring from what we call the graveyard. And so you're not going to connect with source energy to bring forth something living. Okay. So when you desire from a dead place, you're going to get more of the same. So you're going to go into abundance when you are working on creating magnetism. It sounds like a paradox because, well, why would I go somewhere that I already want to desire? But that is what connects you to what we call the quantum field of potential. And the quantum field of potential is God's Wi-Fi. All right. Now the matrix has a Wi-Fi. You're calling in and saying, I don't have a boyfriend. And the matrix is like, let me send you one that will hurt you because you're already hurting, right? And so we want to connect into that central grid of the divine matrix, which is connected to the heart, that's telepathically connected to every other heart that wants what you want. You have heard what you seek is seeking you. Now, when you're seeking from a place of I'm lacking something, then you're going to be magnetically bringing in someone lacking something as well, because like attracts like. It may seem a little bit opposite in the beginning, but it will always represent in the end. Give it 3 months of basically more of the same, creating a problem with a problem. So let's go into some of the characteristics. Let's take the survey on what you could be experiencing biologically if you are demagnetized. Number one is your sleep cycle is all messed up. You're sleeping too much or you can't sleep. That's a sign that your body is not running the electromagnetic energy from the central sun and the grounding of the earth. Remember, you're Superman and you're grounding into that crystal grid and you're grounding into that Christed sun. That's going to create an anger that's going to make your biocomputer online. Okay, you don't want to be trying to manifest offline because that's the dark web. All right. So we want to make sure that you are online. That will increase your sleep cycle and get you back into that REM where your body can reboot and charge and you're not kind of running on exhaustion and starvation and dehydration, which is another element of demagnetism, is uh, you cannot seem to get hydrated. Now, another way that we get demagnetized is that we do not have enough minerals in our body to absorb the H2O. So you could be drinking a gallon of water and peeing all the time, but you're not really hydrated. So what your body would make naturally would be the salt. And I know in the pyramid it says, oh, salt is the devil, but this is exactly why they say that, because if you can get yourself some Celtic salt or some mineralized water, your body will hold that hydration and you will stay that beautiful, like electromagnetic magnetizer, that manifester. Okay, so you want to make sure that your cells are actually getting the hydration, because when your cells feel depleted, they feel in lack. And so your cells think, your organs think, okay, your blood thinks. And so you have all of this consciousness happening. And when there is a system that is within you that is sluggish or having what we call a death experience, where it's dehydrated, where it's starvation, oxygenated, not, the body's not getting the oxygen, then it will also send out a vibration of lack. All right. So you want to make sure that your cells are getting what they need and you're getting enough of that grounding energy. That's something that costs $0 and you can do it all day without necessarily like really impeding in your daily activities. So another sign that you are demagnetized is very low libido, okay? And now if you're not in a relationship or, it's just not on your mind, what you have to understand, that libido is not just about sex. It is your creative center. That is your sacral. So libido is about being turned on. It is not about being turned on just sexually. It's about, am I turned on by my own creativity? Am I turned on by the inspiration that I have coming through to me? And am I channeling that somewhere? If you have no creativity, no motivation, no sex drive, that's a sign of you are demagnetized. Another one is that you get really mad easy. Like you're quick to get really irritated. All right. And ladies, not just around PMS, but like all the time. If you're just like really quick to get irritated, that is a sign that you are not magnetized correctly to the grid. Okay. Remember, you are the avatar in this virtual reality, and there are rules that are as above are below, and you are playing a human existence. And so you do have to follow the biological rules of the game, which is be magnetic, desire from a full heart, not an empty mind. This is what's going to be the change in your vibration. Also, let's see what else. Not letting yourself play, not letting your inner child play in what we would call the quantum field of possibilities, is also known as the nonsense or the no sense. And so if you're not allowing yourself to be in that nonsense place of just, I'm doing this because it's fun, not because it's earning me something, not because I'm good at something, but just because it's fun. And it actually gets you fired up about life, painting a picture, dancing, singing, helping out a friend, but laughing and just doing things that just remind you that it doesn't suck so bad here, is actually allowing your inner child, not just space to tell them you love them and I see you and I hear you, inner child, but actually like putting your child on a playground of your own choice. This is what's going to magnetize you. There's over 100 scriptures in the Bible that talk about how you have to be like an inner child to enter the kingdom of heaven. And this is what we're all wanting to manifest here, is the kingdom of heaven, or our heaven on earth, which means become that deliberate creator of your own reality and attract what you want, not necessarily what you need all the time at the 12th hour and the wrong person. You want to be able to step in and really align with the right people, the right places, and the right things, just because your body, your mind, coherence with your heart and your mind and your gut, are the three brains, are all on the same team. All right. So that is another thing. Money issues is another sign of demagnetism. Let's see what else I got. Anxiety, right? Anxiety, panic attacks. Not happy, even in happy situations, like unable to feel joy unless you're planning joy. Planning joy and being enjoyed are two different things. Like planning a vacation is a futuristic energy, which means that where you are is the future. One of the mistakes I was making last year in my hyper independent season was I was going so fast. And I remember my spirit guide said to me in meditation, you know, God only works as fast as the grass grows. So if you find yourself rushing, and yet you're always alone and you always have to do everything by yourself, Jess, it's because you're going faster than God is willing. And God is taking the scenic route to manifestation. So I really had to lean back and slow down, which in a paradox causes you to speed up in a weird way. If that makes sense. Okay, so other ways now we know how and if you are demagnetized. Now, what to do to also increase it besides grounding to the earth? Really, the Jedi mind trick, the tricks that I want to share with you guys this year in the masterclass that starts in January, is everything is a command. Your body is a computer waiting for you to tell it what to do, who it is, and how to be, what vibrations to send, which ones to bring in, which ones to utilize, how I want my functions of my body. We live in such a codependent, scared place of our own bodies where it's like, we have a pain, what's this? And we're quick to Google it instead of getting in there as the commander in chief of this ship. So one thing that I have learned through my journey is that this is the kingdom of heaven. And it is basically brought down into a game of duality that you then bring into non-duality. And your heart is the non-dualistic approach to both sides. Heaven, right, which we would call head, and hell, which is the lower part of the body, heel. Okay, this is like the division point. The bottom three chakras are going to remain in that scarcity, in that lack, in that suffering, in that separation until you integrate them into the heart. So you're going to feel real shut down right here, which is your power center, which is like that using the force energy of who you are as a Jedi Master. And the way that you actually bring this whole thing together is you start telling with your own voice to your body what to do. Body, ground me. Body, digest my food properly. Body, bring in more light to each and one of my cells. You might be like, it can't be that easy. You are the voice of God. Go back and read the Bible through a metaphysical approach, and you will see, go look at the 7 days of creation. And in the beginning, there was the Word, and the Word was good, and the Word was God. And you are God. So your voice is God. And so if you understand the fifth dimension at all, it's always a win-win, and you are playing the part of God, even if you want to create negative circumstances and demagnetize yourself. Another way that we demagnetize ourselves is we push things away that we don't want. That also pushes things away that we do want, and it ungrounds you. So it's like, if you ever feel like I want to hide or I don't want anybody to see me, that's immediately going to be putting you offline. It's almost like getting kicked off the internet. And so you have to remember, oh, I just didn't want to be around this person, or I didn't want to be around this circumstance, but let me reground and let me connect back up into the divine matrix and be like, hey, I'm still here. Where's all my peeps, right? Because you want to play in the internet of the divine, not at the internet of the matrix, because that's going to be based in circumstantial evidence of what you are allowed to have as a slave, bottom line. Or you can connect into the divinity, which is the Wi-Fi of creation. And you can say, I am down here to create heaven on earth, God, right? Which is I am. And you can say, and I desire to live and align as, and thank you. Because that's the perfect way to pray is to go right into gratitude because you already have it. And if you're feeling, well, unworthy of God, put yourself into a parent's role. I know I have 4 kids, and there is not one thing that any of my 4 children could do that would make me not love them or cut them off, bottom line, even if they did something real bad. Okay, if you have an animal or a kid or even a plant that you love, you can identify. So why would you think that your creator would value you any less when it knew you were coming down here to bring souls to the light, to become the child of God through your de-ascension, through your compassion training? Why you suffered as a child was your initiation to understand compassion, not to get lost in suffering. So when you start to awaken and remember who you are, now it's time to tell the body, which is stuck in the primitive spaces of reality, okay, I remember who I am. Now it is time for me to remind my body who it is, and I am the captain, and I am the steward of this ship. You guys, this entire matrix is designed around you not knowing that you are the creator and that you are the steward of your own ship and your own currency and your own vibration. And so stop handing your power to someone else and hoping they will be the magnetic force for you. And begin through self compassion, grace, and awareness, and realizing that your body isn't up to speed with your mind yet. You're the one taking the metaphysical classes and taking the personal development classes, but your body is not practicing those things yet because you're thinking, well, it didn't happen, so maybe I need to learn more, instead of let me integrate this on all four levels of my consciousness. And so my mind, my body, my spirit, and my soul all know the coordinates of the desire that I am magnetizing myself to. I need to know this mentally, emotionally, physically, and chemically if I am going to create alignment of true magnetism. And this will look like this. When you are truly magnetized, it will be the 80-20 rule, which means that yes, there will be some action that you have to take, but it will be what's called inspired action or inspirited action. It will be the whisper from the divine that comes from your heart that says, go left or go right or make this call or this person. Instead of what the matrix teaches you is work 80% of the time for 20% breadcrumbs. And when you're working with the divine matrix, which is your mind as creator, and your spirit in the Holy Spirit, which is connected to divinity, and you're navigating through the inspired space of the right side of you, super conscious, not the left side of you, memories and subconscious, then you are anchoring yourself into your truth, and your ship is sailing in your right direction to the North Star, which is your purpose or your highest joy of creation, which is why you're here, is to create the most joyful, loving life in your own special sauce, however that wants to look for you. That's how you glory God in this timeline. That's how you glory God through being authentically, unapologetically you. Now, when you are demagnetized, you're never going to feel safe to be yourself, because you're going to be around a lot of other demagnetized people who are flaring around, not knowing who they are either. Very grounded, anchored, confident, loving, kind, compassionate people is where you're going to connect to when you make sure that your body is grounded, hydrated, rested, right? This is like toddler 101. And now you are commanding. So let's look at the last piece of this to create true magnetism, is to make sure that wherever your attention is where your magnetism is. Understand this. You might be like, I'm not manifesting what I want, but I'm watching the news. I don't want that. So you've got to put your attention, which is your currency, which is your worth in heaven, wherever your attention is. Your attention needs to be on already receiving it, wish fulfilled, gratitude, celebration mode. That's your vibe. Celebrate, break the cell. Like, I already have it. And I'm not looking that way at that wreck over there. And I'm not looking over there at the media telling me that we're going to be like, in apocalypse next week. And I'm not looking over here where my mom's telling me I'm not good enough. I'm not doing that. I'm looking at that which I desire and already am in my higher space or higher self. Okay. And then from where my attention is, that's where I create my intention. So looking at your intention as I'm rounding into, this is what I am. Tantrum. Let your intentions be your tantrum, especially today with the Aquarius full moon. Like, talk about hot water. Okay. This is the day where if you're going to have rage come over, use it as your tantrum of your inner child to get rock solid on your desires. Stop settling. So if you say things like, well, at least I have, okay, or I try, okay, that is you not standing in your divine power as a Jedi Master. When you say, I already have, so now I'm working on my alignment. Or, God, remember where I placed all my prosperity? Line me up with that place and person, please. You see, when you act through the intention of already having it, now you're just being guided by spirit of love, of divinity, on where to put that 20% energy. Because 80% of you has been spending time grounding, getting rest, making sure that you are getting enough hydration, playing enough, right? Being creative. Sounds like a hard job. But see, the Matrix teaches you, you've got to slave, you've got to get something to give someone, you got to sell your soul, you got to be codependent, you got to micromanage everyone, you got to be afraid. And I'll tell you that all those things pull you away from divine assistance and plug you into the system's assistance, which is based on victimization, where now you kind of want to give away your power because you get more for being a victim in the system. You're not going to be a Jedi Master at all. And this is going to be not fun for you if you're trying to move into a fourth dimensional state of creation, which is I imagine my nation, or imagination-based focus. So number one is, where's my attention? I do not want to manifest or become magnetic from where my attention is if it is not on that which I already want to be or already desire. So get your attention focused correctly on what you desire. When my clients say to me, oh, well, I don't want this, that's where their attention is, on not wanting that. There is only one word in the universe all the time, no matter what, and it's yes. So if I say, I don't want, the universe says, yes. I'll give you some more of I don't want. Remember, there's only yes, because there's only prosperity and abundance in the universe. There is no lack in the universe ever. So what we do is become abundant in lack because we're looking at it. We're running from it. We're avoiding it. So you want to get your attention right, then you put your intention is. That's where you're that's where you're going to become the tantruming child. This is who I am, right? I am. I say yes to this, and this is where my blinders are. I'm going to stay in my lane, stay on my paper. I'm not cheating. I'm not looking at what you got. I'm looking at what I am in my heart. That's already, God planted these seeds before I came and before I was who I was. It's already here. And I'm not changing my mind anymore because I've settled my whole life. Number three, because everything is always a trinity in perfection of divinity. We've got number one, attention. Number two, intention. The last one, surrender. Let it go, right? Go play. And then you're like, it's done. Now, what would someone do if this was already done? Because how you demonstrate, look at that word demonstrate, how you demonstrate your behavior after that is going to be someone who already has that which they desire. So you become that person energetically, physically, mentally, chemically, method act that. And now you act as if throughout your day. Now, if you're asking and then you're like, where is it? Where is it? You just demagnetized yourself back into lack. And now you're plugged into the Wi-Fi of the system. And now you got to figure out how to get it from someone else, or go work for it, or use your time and give up play, and now your stomach hurts. Okay, so you can always tell if you're magnetized too on how your stomach feels. So you can put your left hand on your belly, which is the center of your vibration, your energy, your seat of your soul, and you can feel if it's the energy is moving, or if there's a lot of anxiety. Right? You guys know by now you should be using breath to control anxiety. When your breath is present deeply, your body's going, oh, good, she's here. When you are not in your body, you're shallow breathing because your body is trying to hide from a predator. Hear me when I say that. When you are not in your body's like shallow breathing. Now, when you come in and you're like, oh, shoot, I'm having anxiety, you start breathing, the body's like, oh, good, hallelujah, they're here. And now, it's like a ship just sailing wherever the wind takes. You got to be that commander in chief, because you can do all your manifestation tricks. You can say your affirmations. You can say your I ams. What you want to pay attention to is how your body responds to that affirmation or to that intention. If your body is like, we don't believe you, then you are unanchored. Your attention is the wrong place. Your intentions are not, they're not strong enough. And then you're not valuing who you are as a child of God, who is already rewarded the birthright and inheritance of your dominion over the earth in the kingdom. Now, if you don't believe that, then I guarantee you, the only thing that you really need to do to work on your self-worth is be grounded more. Because there are coordinates that come from heaven all the time through magnetism, which means that if I was magnetized and present and deliberate, I would hear spirit. I wouldn't have to listen to religion and buy into what someone else. I don't need a middleman to have a relationship with spirit because I'm the Jedi Master, which you all are. So thank you guys for joining me, and I will see you tomorrow for some more Jedi mind training because you are the commander. So tell your body to ground. Body, ground, right? Feel that. It just did what I said. Ask and it is given because you are the voice of God. Have a great day, you guys, and I will see you tomorrow.